people were just okay. We was just quiet, sitting back. We was excited. Then when they start messing with it, no other choice but to step up. Well, well, well. Welcome, 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 Patriot Saints, friends, and family to the Apostolic Conserv Show. I am so glad to have you with us on tonight as we roll into episode 406. And something is telling me I do have the right number on there. I didn't know whether did it right or not, but man, I'm excited to have you guys with us. I hope. Oh yeah, see, I see. I have a problem on here tonight again, but I think I am about to have that corrected now. I thought I did. I thought I did, but it doesn't look like we got it worked out. Hold on, so I think I know what's going on. Why don't we go into this right here while I fix this little hiccup that I got going on?
Food supplies have been completely wiped out. We have a evacuation of all counties. I report complete devastation. We have a giant squall, cloud, just gobbling up everything in the path. Total water supply.
There are forces in this world that remind us of how fragile we are. We thought we were safe. We thought it could never happen to us. Then life like a fog descends upon us, blanketing our memories. Through the haze, we trace its hidden past, lost in its secret places. And when the storm, turbulent and immovable, forces us to shelter, we remember. It calls to us, calls us back. Back to the ports and the harbors of our past. We fight the currents that pull and drag us off course, not a light or star to chart the way. And when we arrive, we don't always know it at first, the places we once loved guised by time. Then we see it, the place we've been trying to get back to. Safe at last, we've found our way home.
2 Timothy 3:1 says, "But know this, that in the last days there shall be perilous times." We're living in perilous times now, where there's rioting, looting, and natural disasters, leaving people without power for several days. You can be the hero to your family by stocking up on your My Patriot supply of food. With a shelf life of 25 years, you can be that hero. Click on the link below and order your supply. Oh, yes, guys, we'd love for you to order your supply of My Patriot Supply Food. They are a sponsor of our show, but they are a sponsor when you go there to the link that we provided you in the description of the show and make your purchases over there and support the Apostolic Conservative Show. I'm doing all kind of technical difficulty things, trying to make sure everything is a go on here. If you've been watching us for a while, you know that there are some times when we have technical difficulties. But you are watching the new news in Christian format while we debunk the mainstream narrative as we roll into episode 406. It is a pleasure to have on the show in just a little while Elizabeth, we call her Beth, the Storm Bennett, running for candidacy in District 1 for Board of Commissioner in the Douglas County, Georgia. But before we get to that, we made breaking news earlier today as we had reports that came out in Jackson, Mississippi. The governor of the state of Jackson, Mississippi, has told everyone, do not drink the water. If you were in Jackson, Mississippi, and I would dare to say, even though that you guys have your own water treatment plant, I would say don't drink the water if you're in a neighboring county. Oftentimes this stuff can spill over in the waterways above ground and below, so you want to make sure that you are safe. So do not drink the water in Jackson, Mississippi. They were praying that they could hold off declaring emergency. They were hoping that the water would hold up for an extended period of time before it would break, or the system, filtration system would break for the water center, but it did not do that. And so it is really an emergency over there. And I almost played something that I wasn't prepared to play. All right, so what we're gonna do while I let something upload. Furthermore, about President Trump, continuing to win. We talked about on last night how there was an FBI agent, over a 20-year agent, that had his hands and his fingers all involved in the Russia collusion, the Russia Gate hoax that went on. He was spearheading that. And then he was the individual that spearheaded the ransacking of Mar-a-Lago on last week. And that guy, we find out, was removed. He resigned, and he is reported to have been forcibly moved from the FBI center. Now, upon that right there, and the shellacking that Mayor Garland has taken with his passive stance on his agents who have been a part of the Gretchen Whitmore. They had agents that was involved up there, and with the kidnapping case, it was so bad. They had more agents up there dealing with and pertaining to that involvement with that there were several guys got their case thrown out. Now we know that there was 2 individuals that just got convicted because of the overwhelming pressure, not evidence, but pressure, after they had got a mistrial on it. I think it was, I may be wrong on that statement, but basically they went to trial, and then, it was a hung jury. That's what it was. I'm sorry. It was a hung jury. And so they were let go on that, but then later on called back in and convicted of the crimes after much weight had been put on the FBI not being exposed and just what all went on there. And there was evidence that could have, much like we saw in California when VP was over there and would not allow evidence to be given over that would have allowed individuals, or they held evidence that did not make it to court, what could have delivered or got people released off of death row, would have got people released off of the conviction of so many people that she locked up for marijuana and stuff like that. Well, these individuals had evidence that could have got them, excused from these crimes, but it wasn't allowed to be shown in court. And so, with what was shown, they were found guilty by their peers. And, and it's crazy how, I'm an individual. I put it this way: I'm an individual that I do not believe that we have to get rid of, or that we must get rid of FBI in entirety. Okay. I'm an individual. I don't believe that we should get rid of the FBI in its entirety, because there are agents that are very good agents, but we know that there are individuals that we need to get removed. I'm trying to figure out some audio because I don't know what it is when we get ready to bring a guest on right now. It appears that the audio, I don't know, it's not allowing me to hear it. So hold on while we try to figure this out. All right, let me take this off right here. I hope that you guys can still hear me. It looks like the audio is good on that end, but I'm not able to hear myself talking through there, so I'm concerned that we won't be able to hear her when she comes on in just a few minutes. Let's see. All right, let me play this. Even angels loving it. The covenant with Jesus keeps on. I'm not hearing that either. All right, let's see. All right, so we have her on. Let me bear with me, guys. I'm not sure if you can hear me, but Beth, if you can hear me, give me a thumbs up. Well, your screen has gone out. This sucks right here. You guys stay tuned while I try to work out these snares. Hello. All right. Let's see. What do I need to do? I think we're gonna use. How about that? Well, okay, so everybody's able to hear me from what I'm seeing. I'm playing them snares. I certainly apologize.
was one connected. Oh, did I get some playing on that?
All right. Beth, are you able to hear me? Oh my goodness. What the world? Mm. I'm so sorry, guys. I am having problems that were unforeseen. Everything was working right, and now everything is not working right. I'm gonna try to play some audio somewhere else to see if it's coming through. Okay, so obviously you guys are hearing the audio, um, but I'm not able to hear it. Right, and now everything is not. All right, Beth, are you able to call in and we'll keep? Are you
You
able
need
to?
me to call or
Oh, okay. So I
what
can
you
hear you
need?
now. Okay, awesome. All right. So I am able to hear you now. I just wasn't sure. All right. So guys, we've got a clip I want to play of Beth um speaking at an event that we sponsored in our precinct, and she brought up some great points on here. Before we bring her on, I want to go to this cut of this video. She's not aware that she was not told that we're going to play this video, but she broke this. I want to play this because I believe this is kind of epic to what she brings to the table. And I'm gonna go ahead. We're gonna play this video right here. Check this out. And this is the strength that she brings to the table, and is willing to say the things and speak up about things that others won't. So I got something else going on too. Hold on. I have okay. I figured one problem out. So here we go.
I am, with COVID, I was able to start listening to our Board of Commissioner meetings. And I was sitting there many a time going, oh my, what is going on? Our money is flowing out so quickly. We in District 1 pay taxes the last time I looked. And our taxes are going up and up and up. Now, our Board of Commissioners don't pay as much property taxes as we do. If you know that or not. But ours continue. And in District 1, we're kind of ignored. All our money goes to Foxhall. And I understand Foxhall. Because in the state of Georgia, they're trying to get horse racing tax. Tyler Perry owns land, and he's going to open a track here in Douglas. That's the reason all the money's going to Foxhall. And of course, they're wanting to annex away from us and all this. And hey, we've already spent a ton of money. I did go to my county commissioner at that time. He had one of those meet and greets, and I said, if it's such a great investment, why are we in the government having to invest in it? I tell you what, why isn't Marriott there if it's such a great investment? Why isn't Hilton? We don't need to. Of course, there again, nothing was done. And our money continues to go to Vauxhall. Then it goes to the mall. And then it goes to Chapel Hill. And I know they've got some McMansions over there, and they're paying a lot more. But we're still paying. Did you know that there is actually a budget to improve Bankhead Highway? It's been on the books for years, but never acted on. That needs to be improved. Our $40,000 Christmas tree, that money could have been spent on improvement to District 1. Now, we all know Fairburn Road is a mess, and we keep getting told, oh, it'll get better, it'll get better. Well, I'm not a patient one, so you need to go ahead and make it better. Stop it. And just the other day at the Board of Commissioners, did you know one of our commissioners? I'm not going to say which one because I'm not going to give their name out. But he said, you know what? We're out of money. And I was like, what? It's only March. What the heck? But what do you do when you got election officials that run? And they know what the salary is when they run. It's clearly stated. Don't ask me what a county commissioner makes. I'm not running for that reason. But then they come in the next day and say, look, I want 3 times my money. And they get it. And then in March, we go, well, we don't have any money. Well, no.
All right, and that's the thing. I believe Miss Bennett will step up, ask the tough questions, and hold other commissioners, board of commissioners, because there's, I believe, 4 board of commissioners, maybe 5, that that have to work with one another, and I believe that I believe that she will take a stand, and this frivolous spending that's taking place. And we understand that there has to be some spending to keep the county running, but there doesn't have to be this big, large amount of splurging that takes place, that really uh, that really ends up putting us in a bind to the point of them, uh, really having these situations where they're talking about we don't have money, and we're getting ready now, without further ado, to bring Miss Bennett online with us, and we're so excited to have her with us. And without further ado, welcome Miss Elizabeth Bennett, candidate for District 1. We appreciate you so much for being on here and taking the time to be with us tonight. Um, are you able to hear me now, Miss Bennett?
I can barely hear you.
Oh, you barely can hear me?
Yeah.
Oh wow. Let me see
Yeah.
if I can try to fix my audio. Um I truly apologize for having so many problems on tonight. Oh boy. We're gonna try to get the audio turned up a little bit. How about now? Is that better? On my end, we're going in the red. Hello?
Hello.
Okay. That you're a little bit louder.
But I'm afraid you're going to cut out.
Oh, nope, you didn't cut out. You didn't cut out.
Yep, you're cutting out again.
Really cutting out
Would it
again?
be better if I called in?
No, hold on. Let me see if I can adjust one more thing. Thank you for your patience.
When I first come in, I can hear you fine, but then it cuts out.
Okay. How about now?
I can hear you just a little.
Oh wow. I don't know because mine is reading up in the red. Let me go ahead and bring you on, and I just if you would uh just talk to the people of Douglas County and those that may have may have family members that are I'm going to do it this way. Is that better right there?
Nope.
Nope. Okay.
I can't even hear
Well,
you barely.
oh, okay. Uh, well, I think this probably about good as I'm gonna get it on tonight. So if you would just talk to if you would take the time to talk to your constituents that would be in your district one of Douglas County and let them know what it is that you plan to bring to the table.
Well, I plan on bringing to the table a voice of District 1. We have been ignored for years. I've lived in Douglasville for 33 years. I started out on Minecraft, which is in District 1, and then I moved all over, but I have ended up over here on Midway Road, which is District 1. And in the time that I have been there, there has been no economical growth in District 1. All our tax money, which is going up again, is going over to places like Foxhall or to the mall or to the rocks that we all see when we get on to the entrance of the Fairburn or Lee Road. But there's been no economical development here. Bankhead Highway needs attention. And then, of course, y'all see my parrot in the back?
Yeah.
We need Bankhead Highway paid attention to. What I would like to do is possibly you get some of the best food on Bankhead Highway on Saturdays. I'd like to pave a place for all those barbecuers to come and have a safe place they can set up, and then we as citizens could go enjoy the food, even if we put out a couple of picnic tables. We have a problem with crime. I was looking at a crime map today, and District 1 is one of the most dangerous areas of Douglasville. And of course, we've just recently had 2 murders, so I'm sure that goes into the statistics. But because our police and fire and all our first responders are not taken care of, we don't have the protection and safety we need here in Douglasville. I want to make sure that Sheriff Tim Pounds has what he needs. I want to make sure the fire department, EMS. I have a pretty a big place in my heart for the first responders. I've had 2 daughters in near fatal accidents. One was life flighted to Grady in 2016, and one spent a month at Scottish Rite. And thanks to the first responders, I have grandchildren from both of those girls.
Wow.
So we have to take care of the first responders. We have to get the safety of our citizens. We have to bring economical growth to District 1. And we have to cut taxes. The past 2 weeks have been so disappointing to me. I went to the Board of Education open hearing when they were talking about raising our taxes. A lot of people showed up. A lot of people spoke. but it fell on deaf ears, and it was 5-0 for a 7.68% raise in our taxes. So the following week, I went to the Board of Commissioners. They're looking at doing a millage rate, not a rollback, but they're going to keep the millage rate the same. And at that meeting, we were called racist and we were called stupid because we didn't understand how taxes were done. And it just really disappointed to me because we're all hurting right now in
Yes.
this economical time. And they're more worried about what they are going to do in an emergency. Well, right now we are in an emergency. We can't
Yes, we
afford
are.
fuel, we can't afford food, and it was a 4-1 vote to raise our taxes through the Board of Commissioners. So you're going to see 2 tax raises next year on your property, one from the Board of Education and one from the Board of Commissioners. And I want to say it comes up to like a 13% raise.
13%?
And it's just, we're all hurting and we can't have that anymore. We in District 1 have lost our voice, and I want our voice back. I want
Now,
us to be able to have a say in what goes on in our county. I want District 1 to be able to say, no, I don't want my tax money going to Fox Hill or to Chapel Hill or to the mall. I want some economic development here. I know that the board is definitely approving all building of apartments and warehouses, and that's got to stop. And one of my constituents emailed me and said that his land on his street is being leveled, and he wanted to know why, because we thought that it had been shelved by the county. We'll come to find out, if the county says no to a project, the builders or whoever will go to the city, and the city will appropriate the land. And so now they've
wait a
got a
minute. Wait.
warehouse going up over there.
Excuse me. Beth, you're saying that there's a precedence that has been set that the city will relocate business authority or for construction sites to work. Now, are you saying in the county areas, they're overriding the county?
Yes, they will come in and appropriate the land, and they will clear cut for a warehouse. This constituent had called the Georgia DOT and found that his road had been reclassified from a residential area to a business to allow for the warehouse to be built.
Now,
And this is over towards Mount Vernon area.
do
And
you
that's
have
what they're
any
wanting to do.
do you have any idea whether there was any notices given to the residents to be able to speak up or speak out against the rezoning of that?
Um, he did not say whether there had been any notices. I did not see any notices, or I would have been at any meeting that I could have been
Yes.
to stop that, because warehouses is not how we want to go. Not to build Douglas, and I understand everybody wants to build Douglasville and get money and tax money and all that, but at some point you have to be able to say, let's do this smartly. Let's
Yes.
do this, with a plan. There's a committee that is being paid $175,000 to study Bankhead. Well, I could have saved them $175,000 and given it to the small businesses on there to improve their properties.
Yeah.
That's the problem. They want to get in the big box stores. They want to get it. They're not paying attention to the mom and pop stores anymore. I personally would rather shop at a mom and pop. I'd rather know that I'm giving money locally to someone that is running their own stores. I've done that for years. if you see me in a Walmart, it's going to be amazing because I just don't shop there. I don't believe in them. I believe that we have to keep our economic growth to our people.
Yeah.
And
Now you mentioned now that's a great point you just mentioned, because many of us remember that when we went through the first stages of COVID, they closed down the moms and pop, told them that they could not be open. But I it's my belief that those special interest people that have special interest in big box stores remain open, where they said that we couldn't go 10, 5 or 10 into mom and pop, but they could go by the hundreds into the big box Walmart stores. And so I see where you're saying, and I believe this has been taking place, that the big boxes or maybe they have more money to spread around with lobbyists in our local towns with these. Now, are you willing to take that stance to say that you're not going to be one of those individuals that takes backdoor deals to
oh
give your
yeah,
influence
I'll
toward?
sign any pledge you want. I do not need a backdoor deal. I don't need money from anybody. I just I want Douglasville to have our personality back.
Yes.
I want us to be Douglasville again. We're not. You
If
can go to any exit and see the exact same stores at every exit.
Hmm.
And I don't want that for us. That's not who we are. That's not, like I said, I've been here 33 years. I remember when Taco Bell went on Fairburn Road, we were all excited because we were getting a Taco Bell. But the growth has been unsupervised or just it's unbelievable. Number one, the infrastructure can't handle it.
yes,
Our roads are horrible. They'd rather spend the money to go to a new library or a new park than fix our roads. When they do fix our roads, it's not very well done. They'll put a thin layer of, when they repave, they do a thin layer of
yeah,
asphalt, or when there's a pothole, they throw some rocks in it and pound it down. And those rocks are gone within a week, and that's on a good day.
yeah.
We
Now,
have to do better. We have to do smarter. It's just, it saddens me to see what they've done to this county. They try to divide us in every way they can, and it's no it. When I first got here, the board was a good old boy network, and if you didn't know the people, you weren't heard. Well, I didn't know the people, so
you
we
weren't
got them
heard.
all. We got streetlights that were imported to France or from France. We got, uh, you know, and we elected a different board. We we Democrats. We put the Democrats in thing. Okay, now this board is no different. Not a single one of them will listen. When we were standing up to talk about this tax raise, not one of them paid attention to us. Not one of them heard, except to tell us that we just didn't know what we were talking about. Well, we've already got 30 million in surplus. This new tax hike will give us an additional 11 million. So we're going to have 41 million in surplus. Meantime, the senior citizens of the county can't afford food or their medicine or
Wow.
rent. We've got to think of our citizens before we think of lining our own pockets or going to bring a bigger tax base. We
Let
we we
let
brought
me
in
ask.
Amazon, we brought in Google, we brought in Home Chef, but they get such great tax abatements that it's still on the back of the citizens to pay the tax
Hmm.
and not the corporations. Home Chef is going in over on Skyview, and they got a 10-year abatement. The first 8 years is no tax, or by year 8 they will be paying 60% taxes.
Now, if you would, could you speak to how important it would be for someone to be alongside another conservative? We saw how valiantly Miss Ann Gardner fought, trying to keep things in with sanity around there, and fought against them getting rid of a lawyer attorney, and just to hire another attorney, and then find out they had to give the old attorney a even better position with more money than what they, and so she fought valiantly, but it wasn't, it's kind of hard when she was the only one on there. So if you would talk to that point of how important it would be, say, a Mark Alvarez gets to remain her position, to a buddy of yours gets in,
Bundy
and
Cobb.
Bundy Cobbs gets in to hold the line in it. How big would that be for Douglas County?
That would be huge because I've met Mark Alcaraz briefly. Bundy Cobb and I have become good friends, and all three of us are very conservative, especially fiscally. We've all been in business. We all know what it's like to make a profit. Like you said, the lawyers is only one of the many things. They didn't look into, well, we have this contract with this Douglas County lawyer, but we want to give it to our friend in Atlanta. So now we have 2 lawyers in Douglas County, and the millions of dollars that we're spending on that is coming out of our pocket. Now, if you have 3 conservative commissioners, we're going to look at that. We're going to look at the budget. Ann did bring up a very good point the other day. Dr. Ramona Jackson wanted to say, well, we have a balanced budget. Every year we have a balanced budget. And Ann did say, well, that's great, but once you're blowing it at every turn, it becomes unbalanced. So this group just wants to spend money. They get grants. They love to get grants.
Mm-hmm.
And a good one with that is the buses. We had a great grant for 2 years for the buses. Well, that's up. So now it's going to be on us, the citizens, to pay for those buses. And it's only got a 6% ridership. So how can you justify keeping those buses? They say that they were there for the senior citizens. Well, they go on a fixed route. You have to get to the bus to get to the route. I say we either sell the buses to a private company, or we make it an on-call for senior citizens and disabled people that need the rides. If it's to the doctor and we get certified for Medicaid, Medicare, we can bill them for the rides. But if it's not, we can make it so inexpensive for those seniors and disabled to use the bus system.
Yeah.
And that's how we save money on that. You've got 3 assistants making $56,000 a year. One is for Henry Mitchell. One is for Tarina, and I don't know who I want to say Kelly Robinson. But right there, Bundy and I both agree. Neither one of us need an assistant. I can do my own job. And yeah, it claims it's a part-time job. But I've got time. I can spend a little bit more time doing a full-time job. I don't have to worry about that. I can make sure that my constituents are taken care of. I don't need an assistant. I can answer my own email. I can answer my own phone. And that right there is going to save us money on the budget. And I
Yeah,
think that's why they're fighting me so hard, because I will put Henry Mitchell out of a job and I will put an assistant out of the job.
yeah,
So
but
that's why I'm being
saving,
fought so hard at every turn.
yeah, but that definitely sounds like uh, that would save Douglas County plenty like that. You say the assistant or part time assistant is making 50 some $1,000, and that sounds like, if I remember hearing correctly, that might be more than some of our emergency response people are getting paid for full time.
Well, the commissioners only make around 21,000 because that's a part-time job.
Okay.
But the assistants make 56,000, and you're right, that is more than our first responders make.
Wow, but that
New
sounds
hires.
backwards. That
That's a
sounds
little
back.
backwards, because if my house is on fire, I'm calling first responder. I'm not calling an assistant.
Yeah.
I want to say that it's pretty close. I think it's like 36 to 45,000 is what is promised, somewhere in there,
Uh
but
huh.
it's not 56,000,
Okay.
and that's just wrong.
Wow.
To me, we're 40 plus positions down in the police department, and it's true everywhere. Don't get me wrong, it's not just Douglas County, everywhere. But if we made the position a well-paid position with great benefits, maybe we could get more people to apply. You've got to make it where they want to apply. Tim Pounds, to me, he was given a hard time about his budget, was told to cut his budget a couple of years ago when they furloughed the everyone.
Uh huh.
And of course, that was the first thing they talked about during the taxes. Well, we don't want to furlough employees. Well, that's not the first thing you do. You don't take it out on your personnel because you can't balance a budget.
Mm-hmm.
You cut other things. You look at things that are being spent wastefully.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but with a $30 million surplus right now, that could cover a lot for the sheriff's department and the fire departments and
What
911 operators.
what do you
How a 911 operator does it, I don't know. Bless their heart. Yeah, that's one of the most stressful jobs in the world.
no
And they need to make sure their equipment is up to date. They need to. I think that that is our priority as a government, as a local government. That's our priority. Is
what
our safety, whether it be for fire or for 911. For Did you know that not every fire station has a paramedic?
no
And
didn't
that
know that.
is the first line of defense for a lot of people. If you're having a heart attack, you want to make sure your fire department has a paramedic and doesn't have to come from across town.
Yes.
You want it. Your safety is important with that paramedic. And if I remember correctly, I had a friend that finished paramedic school, and she was working with me in an office, and I said, "Well, why aren't you a paramedic?" She said, "Well, they don't pay very well." And I looked at the time, Douglas County, this was several years ago, Douglas County had an opening, and I looked and I couldn't believe the price they pay for paramedics. It's
Wow.
so low that they do better by working in an office.
Yeah.
But these are people that save lives.
So would you say that the lack of payment was causing us to be in a lack of emergency response teams prior to the pandemic, prior to this the shortage that everyone else had? We already had a shortage of help.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
Yeah, I was saying that would you say that we already had a shortage of help with emergency response teams prior to COVID, prior to the pandemic that everyone else is suffering from? Or shall I say,
You're asking me what other?
we had a shortage before the
Yeah,
last
we
2
had a
years?
shortage before,
Uh huh.
and then when we furloughed, when they
Wow, that is ridiculous. Can you hear me now?
you there again? It,
Yeah, I'm there. I don't know what just happened.
it just cut me off like I was nobody.
Wow. Okay.
Now I can hear you.
Okay. And now you can hear me. I don't know what just happened then. It was like,
Well,
all
you
right.
know
So,
the funny thing is, I read an article today about was your dog acting strange Sunday, and I was like, no, but okay. Apparently, there's solar flares going on all over, so that could be what's going on. We're gonna blame it on that. How about that?
oh well, yeah. I actually, that does call to remind that I was told that a while back, maybe like a couple of weeks ago, that there were a lot of solar flares going up, and this guy actually works for NASA. And was telling me about the solar flares that are going up, disrupting signals and stuff. So
Right. So that
yeah,
may be what's going on. Who
yeah,
knows?
yeah. I know. For all we know, it could be them 2,700 satellites that Elon Musk got up in the air around the Earth orbit, making
Yeah, it
sure
could be.
everybody. And it's funny. It's supposed to make sure everybody gets cell signal all over the world.
Yeah. Well, they're supposed to fly under all the other ones, so maybe it was just running. Who knows?
Yeah, it was blocking the other ones.
It was
Now they go.
blocking the other ones.
Oh, yeah. Well, speaking of that, there's article out that actually Royal I think it's called Royal Caribbean Cruise. They're
Yeah.
supposed to be taking on Starlink to supply internet to all of their cruises. Um,
Wow.
and it's supposed to be immediately. There was
Yeah.
on one of the business channels earlier today, so that's going to be pretty interesting
Yep.
to see how that unfolds. Well, I don't know how much. Oh, you got it. Oh, yeah. No, mine. Ours looks similar to him, but a little bit bigger, probably about 50 pounds bigger than him. But
Yeah.
is that a girl? A girl or
It's a
boy?
boy.
It's a
It's
boy.
Luke. It's Luke. But I put him up because if Lynn Bunn is watching, I wanted her to see him.
Oh, okay. hold,
She
hold him
hates
back
him.
up. Hold him back up. I'm gonna give you your solo shot so she can see it real good.
See, there's Lucas. That's old Lucas Pookus.
Tell him smile for the camera, Lucas. Smile.
He's grumpy tonight. Yeah.
He's just,
Yeah, I
he's
got
just
him
trying to
from the
be.
Douglas County shelter 6 years in
Oh,
2013. So, yeah, he's been around.
he's an old man now.
He is an old man. I got four of them floating around here somewhere.
Oh wow. Well, I
And the
know a
parrot.
lot. Well,
You see the parrot?
yeah, in the background, huh? Yeah, walking
Yeah, I'm
around back
surprised
there.
he's not. I'm surprised he's not talking. Usually he's talking.
What's his favorite word?
Um,
Food,
hey little
feed.
girl. Hey, what you doing, little girl? Because
No! Oh, that would be hilarious right there. Oh,
because my husband calls Goldie our carrier little girl, and first thing he does is when he gets home every day is "What you doing, little girl?" And so the parrots picked it up, and that anytime you "What you doing, little girl?"
what you doing, little girl?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
So
that was awesome. Yeah. Uh, that, wow. So, how long have you guys had the parrot?
oh, too long.
Too long.
Uh,
What's his name?
Paco.
Punko.
Taco Taco. Yes, it's my my husband's oldest son is nicknamed Paco because he
Uh,
always liked tacos,
okay. Okay.
and so he just named him that Paco.
Wow.
So that's the
What's
parrot.
what what's the story behind the bird? When what spurred you guys to get them?
Well, my husband worked at animal control for years,
Okay.
and if you've met my husband, he
Yeah.
looks like an old sea captain,
He
and we
does.
were
A sea
and we
captain, an old biker.
yeah, and so we were at Ben's antique store one day, and we found a statue of an old sea captain. I didn't
uh,
buy it, but he had a parrot on his shoulder, and
okay.
I said, "Well, now all you need is a parrot." And next day he went to work, and they had a parrot. Someone had let the parrot go at the park, and they had captured it, and he was the only one that the parrot would let near him.
Wow.
So we ended up with a parrot, and the parrot hates me, but he
No.
loves my husband. But and I think that's why we still have the parrot, because it's the only animal we've ever had that likes him more than me.
Okay.
So
Okay. So he making sure that would stay around.
yeah, that one stays around, and I tell my stepson all the time, well, if your father goes before me, you better be on a plane down here to get this bird, because I'm not keeping it.
Yeah, especially if it don't like you the way you
Yeah,
don't want to like.
he's bitten me 3 times, and he's drawn blood,
Oh yeah,
so
he's
the bird
mean.
doesn't like me.
So you keep your distance on that one then. Well,
Yeah, I
yeah.
keep my
Well,
distance.
I certainly enjoyed the time. I know we didn't talk about how long you'd be on tonight, but I thank you for being patient with me while I went through my technical difficulties. Now, what kind of what social media? If people want to find out what you're talking about, what's on your mind, where do they need to go to find out information directly from you?
Well, the only social media I do really is Facebook, and that I'm Elizabeth Bennett. I get on there, and you'll that's basically where I talk a lot. Um, but if you really want to get to me, call me personally or
Mm,
text me. Text me personally, and I will answer you. I have an email, Elizabeth DVILLE1 at gmail.com. Email me. I check it
yeah,
several times a day. I want to be available to anybody and everybody. If I don't answer my phone, just leave a message. I'll call you back. I do work from home now, so I can call you right back. It doesn't take long.
yeah. So, and once again, that email address. Um,
Elizabeth ELIZABETH Deville1 at gmail.com.
okay, all right. We'll try to get that up a little bit later on for those that
And
may.
if,
Go ahead.
if you want to meet me, I will be at the GOP dinner at Red Lobster Thursday night.
Great
I would
club.
love to have everybody there to come out and meet me, and I'm sure Bundy will be there. Susan Camp usually shows up, the judge. Heidi will probably be there, but she'll be late because she has to work too.
Yeah,
But it's just a good time where we can get together and commune and just have a good time and talk about how we're going to take this county back and how we're going to make it ours again, and not the politicians. Make
yeah,
it ours. Make it we the people, because that's how government is set up. It is we the people that have the power. And as
yeah.
long as we remember that, we can accomplish anything. And
Yeah.
God gives us our right, not the government.
I'm gonna give you a moment to say your piece, and I'd like to hear about this storm. I ain't heard you say nothing about the storm. No, so
Okay.
if you would go ahead and just talk to the people and talk about this storm, and I'll give you that time to talk to them.
Okay. The storm, I am called the storm for a reason. Years and years ago, I saw a plaque that really is my motivation when I'm having problems. I I I looked up the author because I wanted to give them the credit, but I couldn't find it. But what I did find was that this poem is in several breast cancer centers, just for motivation. And it's a simple poem. It simply says, "The devil whispered in my ear, you can't handle the storm. I stood bravely. I looked him in the eye, and I said, I am a woman of faith, a champion of God. I am the storm." And
Mm.
so that gives me motivation. That reminds me who I am and that I am a woman of faith.
Wow, amazing, amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've never heard that one before. I don't, and but that's epic. And epic strength given right there, and epic notice. That
Yes.
that you have strength and you will endure the
And,
storm and
and
the
with
storm.
yeah, and
Yeah,
with God's help, I can get through anything, and
wow.
I can be the storm against my enemies.
Yeah, and we're gonna get out of here because I know you got to get rest, but and it's been a long day. But that's something my dad and I was talking. Who is in your? He's also in your district, a little closer to downtown. But we were talking today, and and he was understanding more so now than ever before, just about how a lot of governmental entities and people within government are pushing agendas that basically remove God out of the picture.
Exactly.
I don't know how much influence you guys would have, like, with the Board of Education and different things like this. But, and I believe we first met there at one of those meetings, and that they push oftentimes, and they get it from the hierarchy, from up top all the way downstream to our local communities, where they push these agendas, like CRT and stuff, that when you really
Right.
look at it, it removes God out of the picture, and it makes it as though it's this impossible thing, and it because of them I'm like this and I can't overcome because and that divisiveness that you spoke of before. And I don't. It's great to hear you talk about, God being in the midst of your platform and God making you strong how He has, because oftentimes when we look at that, we look at the lack of representation of Him in our counties, and that is leading us down this path of destruction. Where we have. I remember a while ago in one of the other elections, there was talk about all of these different um, liquor stores that were getting placed
Right.
all over the county and stuff. And well, not all over the county. I apologize. Not all over the county, but all over the city and stuff. And they're inching their way out to the county. But that kind
Right.
of environment just brings a lot of unwanted attention. I'll put it that way.
You're right. And you always hear of separation between church and state. Well, what our forefathers meant, and if you read the Federalist Papers, you will see they didn't mean for the church to be out of the government, but they wanted the government not to be into the church.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, we should elect Christians. That is our problem. We stood back and let them convince us that church and state should be separate. They
Mm-hmm.
they shouldn't be. the The board needs to have a Christian base
Mm-hmm.
or a godly base,
Uh-huh.
because he's the one with the plan. He's the one that knows where we're going.
Yes.
And I just all I can do is follow his plan. When he tells me what he wants me to do, I do it. And I will honestly tell you, when he told me that I should run for this after I prayed, and I said, is this really what I want to do? Is this where I want to go?
Uh-huh.
And that small, still voice said, yes, you
Wow.
need you need to help the people. And
Yeah.
that is your mission in life. And I was like, okay. And there are times I'm like, am I really supposed to do this? It's because and I've had so many people tell me you can't win. There's no way you can win District 1. It's a very far left leaning county or district.
Mhm.
It's going to be difficult. And I said, well, I've never done anything easy in my life, so why would I start now? But I think through God's will and God's way, if it's meant to be, it will be.
It will
And
be.
there's no stopping it.
Yeah.
And that's where I'm at. So if it's meant to be, it shall be.
Yeah. Well, we definitely thank you for stepping up to take on the challenge, and we really appreciate it. We'll definitely be looking for you. And hey, you heard the plug out there. If you're nearby and you like the meter, come to Red Lobster this Thursday evening. I believe is that at 6:30 or 7 o'clock?
I want to say it's 6:30.
6:30. Yeah, 6:30 be a
I'm
good
pretty
time
sure it
anyway.
is.
Yeah.
Yeah, but uh, but it's good food, good friends, good fellowship,
Oh yeah.
and a lot of laughs.
A lot of laugh. Yeah, no doubt about
Yeah, and there
that.
goes the bird.
Oh, did he
And that's
fly
my
over?
line. Yeah,
Oh,
he
he's
did a
like, bye bye.
flyover.
Show's over.
So
I missed
no,
it.
he went up to his perch for the night. He goes up and sleeps on the windowsill for the night.
Oh, okay. All right.
So you
Thank
got
you.
to fly by.
Hey, ain't that something? You gotta fly over, fly by.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Miss Bennett, for joining us, and we definitely wish you well. Look forward to seeing you on Thursday night.
See you there, buddy.
All right. God bless you. Have a great one.
Got,
Tell Mr. Bennett I say hello. All right.
I will, dear. Have
Okay.
a good one.
God bless. Wow. All right. There it is. Another great guest down, even though we went through some toils and snares with my technical difficulties on my side. She was very patient with us until we got it worked out. I want to remind you guys to remember our affiliates or our sponsor of the Apostolic Conservative Show with Dr. Stella, MD, spelt just like you see it in the top corner, left corner. Dr. Stella, MD. And you can go to her website to find out about aspects of Dr. Stella and check out her telehealth services where you can book your consultations with her as a preferred client, where you're able to get COVID treatment and prevention, registering to get hydrochloroquine or ivermectin. You're able to do that through her website. When you go there, the link is provided for you in the description of the show. You can use the promo code APCO Show, APCO Show. Also, there is the ReAwaken America tour that is still going on. So you can go check out that, because we know it is the great uh, awakening against the great reset. We want you guys to go over there and check it out at their website at timetofreeamerica.com using the same promo code APCO Show. APCO Show.
Ladies and gentlemen, this just in. We'll keep this a little secret between you and me and them and everybody. Whoa. The people that are actually at the tip of the spear, working directly with President Trump on a day-to-day basis to save this nation, they're all joining us on the ReAwaken America tour. We have President Donald J. Trump's chief of staff, Kash Patel. We've got Peter Navarro's joined us on the tour. We have General Michael Flynn. We have Eric Trump. The people actually working at the tip of the spear with President Donald J. Trump to save America are joining us on the ReAwaken America tour. Whoa. If word of this gets out, if the truth about election fraud, medical fraud, religious fraud, monetary fraud, and mainstream media gets out, it may just save the nation. And now we are taking the ReAwaken America tour to the Washington-Idaho border on September 16th and 17th. Once again, that's September 16th and 17th. We're taking the ReAwaken America tour to Washington/Idaho. And then on October 21st and 22nd, we are taking the ReAwaken America tour to the great state of Pennsylvania. Yes, we are taking the ReAwaken America tour to Manheim, Pennsylvania on October 21st and 22nd. And once again, we want the ReAwaken America tour to be affordable for everybody. So you can name your price. Again, you can name your price. Request your tickets today by going to time2freeamerica.com. That's time2freeamerica.com. Or for faster service, you can text the number 918-851-0102. That's 918-851-0102. Typically, when they go to time2freeamerica.com to request tickets, they fill out the form and request tickets. You might talk to them. And so the questions people ask me all the time are, how much are the tickets? How does the whole process work? Can you walk everybody out there listening right now through the process if they want to request a ticket to attend the ReAwaken America tour?
Well, I give them the opportunity. I tell them that the VIPs are the closest seating to the speakers. VIP lanyards, VIP welcome bags will play Clark's book, Fear Unmasked 2.0. As well as a t-shirt, right?
Yeah.
T-shirt. Okay. We want to fit your budget.
Guys, we are planning to be at the Pennsylvania ReAwaken America tour. We'd love for you guys to come along with us. Go to time2freeamerica.com to purchase your tickets. And hey, let's make a big deal of it. Let's go to the ReAwaken America tour out there as we're ending right before. Wouldn't it be great? Is right before November elections on the 8th, we go up there, we show support and help take back Pennsylvania for we the people. That'd be a great thing because whether you know it or not, realize it or not, or want to acknowledge it or not, we've got a lot of fighting on our hands. I did see a report where down here in Georgia, Herschel Walker is now taking the lead over Lion Prophet Raphael Warnock. And he's been pushing an agenda. Warnock has saying that Herschel Walker hasn't worked with Cobb County, and they even had a news personnel saying that Cobb County says they have no record of Herschel Walker working with them. Well, Herschel Walker brought the receipts. Herschel Walker brought the receipts to show them that he actually had been working with Cobb County as as one of those honorary or a deputized sheriff, and he actually had brought the receipts of a couple of other counties where Herschel Walker actually worked with them. So while they continue to push lies in over the airwaves that he was lying about working with them, he comes out with the truth. So you guys show the truth. That's what we do here on the new news in Christian format, while debunking the mainstream media. Now I want to play this other video. I don't know, we may play this several times over, but this is talking about with Klaus Schwab, Nashis Harara, I believe I pronounced his name right, and them talking about their great reset that they want, and transhumanism that they would like to use to remove us. But here you go, guys. Enjoy this.
Who are really left behind, and I'm not speaking only on national levels, I'm speaking also internationally. If I see now the tragedy in some of the emerging countries like South Africa, like some countries in East Asia, I think it's all I don't have too many remedies. The remedies have to be discussed through dialogue by the stakeholders of our global system. But I just see the need for such a dialogue, and I see the need for action. I see the need for a great reset.
Yes, it's confirmed. And yes, I also talked to my source for diesel and oil, because we buy oil in 55-gallon drums for ranch and commercial operations. And yes, there's rationing already in place. Okay. So I've confirmed this now from multiple sources, and this is happening. And I don't know of any way that this can be solved. Do you know of a way? Is there some quick solution that you're aware of how to suddenly make diesel engine oil additives? You know, all the dispersing agents, the anti-foaming agents, the anti-friction agents, and all this stuff. Do you know how to make that stuff? I don't know how to make that stuff. Somebody's got to figure out how to make that stuff in order to put it into the oil, in order to have a supply of oil. And that's got to happen in the next 8 weeks, or we don't have oil. And without oil, again, everything shuts down. I mean, fire trucks won't run. Ambulances that run on diesel won't run.
People assume we are just going back to the good old world which we had, and everything will be normal again in how we are used to normal, in the old fashion. This is, let's say, fiction. It will not happen. The cut which we have now is much too strong in order not to leave traces.
There will be no deliveries by UPS, FedEx, United States Postal Service. Amazon.com will shut down because they won't be able to deliver anything. They need diesel trucks to distribute pallets of their inventory from warehouse to warehouse, by the way. And without diesel trucks, they can't even do their own internal distribution of their own internal inventory. So Amazon will cease to function. Walmart will cease to function. Grocery stores will cease to function unless this problem gets solved in the next 8 weeks. It's got to get solved quickly or it's over.
And you see, the difference of this fourth industrial revolution is it doesn't change what you are doing. It changes you. If you take a genetic editing, right. Just as an example, it's you who are changed. Yeah, and of course, this has a big impact on your identity.
We need to realize that humans are now hackable animals. You can hack them. A good two-way communication system, direct communication system between brains and computers, this is kind of the watershed moment. I mean, once you have a good two-way, nobody has any idea what happens after that. No, I think maybe in a couple of decades when people look back, the thing they will remember from the COVID crisis is this is the moment when everything went digital. And if this was the moment when everything became monitored, that we agreed to be surveyed all the time, not just in authoritarian regimes, but even in democracies. And maybe most importantly at all, this was the moment when surveillance started going under the skin. I think that the big process that's happening right now in the world is hacking human beings, the ability to hack humans, to understand deeply what's happening within you, what makes you go. And for that, the most important data is not what you read and who you meet and what you buy, it's what's happening inside your body. So we had these two big revolutions, the computer science revolution, or the infotech revolution, and the revolution in the biological sciences. And they are still separate, but they are about to merge.
History is truly at a turning point. We do not yet know the full extent and the systemic and structural changes which will happen. However, we do know that global energy systems, food systems, and supply chains will be deeply affected.
Many of the scenarios that I outlined before the pandemic, I didn't outline them as a prophecy, but just as a possibility. Maybe it will happen. It's not an extremely deadly virus. It's not the Black Death, and look what it's doing to the world. So now just try to think what will be the implications of a much bigger problem like climate change. Also, conceptually, it shows that, and here I completely agree with you, Rutger, that it shows you that you can change things on a massive scale. That, and again, you can stop all flights. You can lock down entire countries. You can actually do that. And life goes on in some way. And this, I would say, may make us more open to radical ideas about how to deal also with climate change. The COVID-19 crisis could be a really watershed moment, a moment of significant change in the history of surveillance, because surveillance is being revolutionized, transformed from over-the-skin surveillance to under-the-skin surveillance.
And he caused all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell save he that had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. Here is wisdom. Let him that hath understanding count the number of the beast. For it...
Wow. It's an amazing time that we live in. It's biblical. We are living in the last days. And now I don't know how long the last days will last, because one day with the Lord is 1,000 years, and 1,000 years is but one day with the Lord. But one thing for sure is we are nearer now than when we first believed. And we all need to get our house in order. I mean, there are people in the know that deal with a lot of political things and geopolitical things that are literally talking about World War III could take place at any time. Did you know that on today that Taiwan actually fired weapons, supposedly warning shots at drones of China on today, and China has vowed that they would push back, or they would come out some kind of way of harshness towards them for doing that? Do you not realize that United States and Europe are in the decline economically, and we no longer hold the place that we just enjoyed 2 to 3 years ago as a perennial power in the world and respected? Do you realize that what this administration is doing here, they have requested or told our oil industry not to be shipping oil or to slow down shipment of oils to other countries when they won't allow them to produce more for us right here in the United States of America, which is going to cause more pressure on other countries where they are already rioting, and Baghdad has fallen. There's gunfire, shooting and stuff going on right now in the green zone of Iraq. Afghanistan has already fallen. Sri Lanka has fallen. Now they're talking about Panama. They're down there and they're struggling, and their government is falling into dissent, into chaos. And there's more in other places that I'm just not naming. That there's chaos all in the world around us that we did not have just 2 years ago. But if you listen to the fake news media, they're pushing the Biden narrative. They're pushing the left, liberal, Marxist narrative that everything is going to be all right. Oh, the Biden administration has been so good. They've done so good for us. And they pushing this narrative as if it's real. But you and I, we know what's really taking place because we're seeing it unfold right before our eyes. We're experiencing the tragedy that's going on because there are individuals that don't have our best interests in mind. And it's something when you see all of this chaos and then people continue to lie right before our face. We see now that the DOJ is finally trying to take action when it comes down to some things because they know they done messed up and they've letting their I said they're letting their agents go rogue, and probably because Garland has been Garland has been radicalized. Every time I put these things on, I'm gonna find something to get something to do better than this because it has a major echo in my ear and I can't stand it. But we're gonna go to the Epoch Times because they got a couple of articles that I want to get to before we close out on the show. So all right, so DOJ bans officials from all partisan political events amid allegations of bias. Now, this is as whistleblowers have been coming out exposing what they, the corruption, the bias actions that were taking place behind closed doors, where we talked about last night this Thea individual that was a 20-year agent and was pushing a lot of bias leftist agenda, protected Hunter Biden's laptop, which would have no doubt, even with all the cheating that went on, would have swayed the election another way because independents overwhelmingly would not side with corrupt individuals, and they're seeing the corruption. And that's actual proof other than made up, manufactured allegations against President Trump like the media has pushed for a long time. But Attorney General Merrick Garland on Tuesday announced a significant update to the Department of Justice's policies regarding bans on political involvement amid allegations of bias at the agency. Although longstanding department policy was permitted non-career appointees to attend partisan political events, fundraisers, and campaign events in their personal capacities if they participated passively and obtained prior approval under the new policy. Now, career appointees may not participate in any partisan political event in any capacity, Garland said in a memo. Now, this may help out in a lot of ways. I mean, it's a good step forward to show that they're going to take a stance when it comes to this partisan agenda. I don't know. Will it work? Because there are other ways of meeting with people that want to line your pockets and make you to be a celebrity in these with other events, other ways. So we'll see how that goes. The Attorney General did not make any references to any specific department of justice, DOJ employees, or incidents. Garland said previous DOJ policies had allowed non-career employees to passively attend campaign events and other partisan political events in their personal capacities on the evening of election day. In the past, when the department has further limited, the first thing come to my mind when I read that is how Fiona Hill and all of them were celebrating in Ukraine. Looking at how they were getting the president impeached. They were celebrating and how they were involved in that, and how they were so infuriated that he won when he won in 2016. All right, so going on, the new policy, okay, but now he declares non-career appointees may not attend partisan political events, even on the evening of election day. We won't read on into that. I'll just scroll up. You guys can check it out at your own convenience if you so choose to. All right. Let's go here. All right, we're gonna back out of that. We're gonna back out of that. We're gonna scroll up. Hey, don't forget, you can go and subscribe to the Epoch Times website, theepochtimes.com, and you can subscribe with a 20% discount when you use promo code APCOSHOW. Then you can go to their website, their app. You can upload their app, and you can go and you can see things like this, where they have special coverage on FBI raids Trump resort live updates. Decision 2022, America's Future. Vaccines and safety. COVID-19 latest updates. Russia-Ukraine war. Election integrity. Shenyang special coverage. News inspiring. Defending America. Censorship and socialism. U.S.-China competition. How the specter of communism is ruling our world. These are things you can go to the Epoch Times to check out. Let's look at some latest headlines. Rubio Biden administration failing to block semiconductor IP sales to China. Rainbow fentanyl used to target young Americans. And that is the word. My daughter and I was talking about this earlier today, and neither one of us could think of the name of that drug. It's fentanyl, and she's probably watching now. But yeah, it is fentanyl that they're using to cause people to get so addicted. NASA aims for Saturday lunch for New Moon rocket. Number one, Swiatek Pegler race into second round of U.S. Open updates. EV battery recycling faces hurdles. That's probably going to be a video. Let's see how long that video is. Let me see. I don't think that's the actual video right there, is it? Oh, yes, it is. Hold on. Oh, it's 26 minutes. Let's just dive into this for a few seconds, moments. Okay, let's go here. I'm gonna see if I can make this a little bit larger. Oh, bear with me, guys. All right, hold on. It's not working. It's not working like I want it to work. Here it is. I think I get it right here. Hold on. Oh, I think I got it. I got it. All right, let's chime into this right here.
And pushing the transition toward electric ones. We look at how the shift is helping China.
We now have all committed to green, lithium ion, all these batteries that require China's participation in their manufacturing.
Is the global supply chain at stake again? A number of Chinese cities now under lockdown, impacting millions and shutting down the world's factory. Washington boosting its partnership in the South China Sea. That's through a joint drill with the Philippines. And the International Tennis Federation says famed Chinese athlete Peng Shuai is safe. But is she? Welcome to China in Focus. I'm Tiffany Meyer. We've heard about California's push for more electric vehicles throughout the state. But more electric vehicles means more EV batteries and a boost in production volume. That's where America's reliance on China kicks in. Let's take a closer look.
As California takes another leap towards banning sales of new gas-fueled vehicles by 2035, electric or hydrogen cars may soon be the only option for drivers looking to buy a new vehicle. The push for all-electric cars means many more lithium-ion batteries needed for powering these machines. Two automotive industry experts weighed in on one of the most notorious environmental challenges of EV manufacturing, recycling lithium-ion batteries.
It turns out that lithium-ion batteries are about 98% recyclable even today, and of course technology will improve that as we move forward. It's certainly true to say that the actual industry is in its infancy, and we do not as yet have the recycling infrastructure in place to do that. But we will. Again, it's another supply and demand thing.
Wheatley, CEO of an off-grid EV charging infrastructure solutions company, says if the demand for EVs increases, so will the demand and need for improved recycling processes.
Right now, there is no true process to take any of these large EV batteries, disassemble them, recycle them, and use that material for something else. There is nothing in place. There's people that have tried. There's a couple companies that are working on it, but they still have not come up with a solution that works.
Fix, an automotive analyst, says current disposal processes are not environmentally friendly. According to Tesla, none of its, quote, scrapped lithium-ion batteries go to landfills. The company added that 100% of the batteries are recycled and reused. But Tesla's report does not reveal where those scrapped parts that go to third-party recyclers eventually end up. If the demand for EVs increases, manufacturers will need lithium-ion battery production volume to match, a process that requires rare earth metals.
We don't mine cobalt, cadmium, nickel, mercury, neodymium, and there's 7 rare earth minerals because of the damage to the environment. So we are reliant on China.
Despite the cars being clean, battery production isn't necessarily. Mineral mining might not impact U.S. soil, but according to an article by Yale University's School of the Environment, China has poisoned part of its land with chemicals from rare earth mining. On top of that, U.S. lawmakers have accused the Chinese Communist Party of using forced labor in its mining processes. But the Biden administration has made a push for more, quote, made in America EVs as part of his recently signed Inflation Reduction Act. For now, California's ban on sales of gas-fueled cars still awaits final federal approval. If finalized, drivers can still buy and sell old or used gas-powered cars even after 2035.
California's push for replacing gas-fueled vehicles with electric ones by 2035 may come with a catch.
We now have all committed to green, lithium ion, all these batteries that require China's participation in their manufacturing.
Ann Bridges is the author of Groundbreaking, America's New Quest for Mineral Independence. Most electric cars use lithium-ion batteries, and right now, China dominates that market, as much as 80%. 6 out of the 10 biggest EV battery makers are based in China, and one particular producer called CATL wields immense influence in the industry. It makes 3 out of every 10 EV batteries. Even though you may never have heard of it, CATL supplies to some of the industry's biggest names: Tesla, BMW, and Kia. And now that reliance on China for EV batteries is raising concerns.
The whole world is now reliant on single source, certainly single locale regions in the world to supply certain things. And even today, I don't know if you saw this, the lithium plants in China have been closed down for a period of time because of the extreme drought. There's no more hydropower, or not enough to run these factories. So it's something outside of all of our control to be able to really manage. So if we don't have multiple sources of energy, if we don't have multiple sources of manufacturing, then we are beholden to whatever the vagaries of fate are, whether it's war or famine or drought or whatever.
The U.S.
Yeah, that's what we continue to tell people, you know, and bring to attention. Yeah, it's a good idea, you know, to have green technology that doesn't pollute the air and you can breathe better and all of that in heavily condensed areas. But getting everything from China, who wants to overtake us and doing all they can to overtake us, is not a good idea, relying on them. We saw what happened with the pandemic and us depending on them for what we needed. When it come down to medical, you know, medicines and stuff, because over 80% of medicine, Tylenols and stuff, come from China. And now much of other things are coming from there, and we just can't. We saw what happened when we're relying on them. It is on other countries, period, in the times of situation like we went through back in 2020. All right, we're gonna let's see. Let's go here one more time, man. You know what? We're gonna do it then. We're gonna go ahead and jump off here. There's so many other things that if you had a subscription to the Epoch Times by going over to theepochtimes.com, you could subscribe to them and find out more about these situations. Is the FBI using Russiagate tactics to cover up for Russiagate crimes? Capitol report: Trump special master request faces hurdles. Tier 1 fires at Chinese drone. Michigan storms leave over 340,000 people without power. Kill a teenager. Wolf warriors: China's aggressive diplomats at work. Problems at the southern border continue. You could find out about all of these and so much more if you were subscribed to the Epoch Times. You had their app on your phone. You could just go to it and find out so much information. But remember, when you go there to subscribe, use our promo code APCO APCO show. All right, one more thing as we get ready to get out of here. We are so grateful that you guys have joined us on the Apostolic Conservative show today. And we are getting ready to get up out of here as I look for this right here. All right. Now I got to readjust it. Here we go. Uh-oh, not so much. Here we go. Here we go. Boom, boom. Uh-oh, wrong one. Boom, here we go. It is this scripture today, because we'll be reading, and because we're a Judeo-Christian show, we have this segment we call A Moment in the Word, because we believe that a moment in the Word can change your life A moment in the Word can change my life, and a moment in the Word can change anyone's life. And today's scripture reading, it will be coming from Lamentations 3:22 through 25. It is of the Lord's mercy that we are not consumed, because his compassions fail not. They are new every morning. Great is thy faithfulness. The Lord is my portion, saith my soul. Therefore will I hope in him. The Lord is good unto them that wait for him, to the soul that seeketh him. And the book of Lamentations is one of those small books in the Bible, but it was a book believed to be written by Jeremiah, who was the weeping prophet, and talked about the woes and the adversities and the hurt and the pain and the fallen Israel people, and how God was going to cause them and the prophet to go and do despicable things. Even one place that reminds you of where Apostle Peter might have got his, when God told him to eat of the animals that were unclean, and told him don't call what he's called clean unclean when he's sanctified it, when he's cleaned it. And so there was one place in there where the prophet was saying, I don't want to eat this, Lord, because I've never taken anything. I've never eaten anything defiled. Well, in this situation, because it was so detest what the Lord brought to him, the Lord must have been just trying him to see how far he had fallen, but told him, well, I'm not going to make you eat this. I'll let you eat it from this manner. And so they went through so much wickedness and so much pain, but in the midst of the pain, in the midst of the suffering, the prophet had this bit of hope, talking about the Lord's mercy. It is because of the Lord's mercy that we are not consumed. And so he began, in the midst of the lamenting, he began to give hope. He began to give aspiration. And I just want to encourage you on today, you may feel like you have been boxed in, or you may feel like your encampment, your home has been seized, or it has been surrounded by the enemy. Your life has been surrounded by the enemy, and you don't know what to do. You're under siege right now. You're still alive, though. You're still yet in the land of the living, and you should know then that the mercies of God are new every day. So you just keep on doing what you know to do through this day, and as you make it to the next day, you'll see new mercies on that day, because his mercies are new every day. Are new every morning for you. And so I just want to encourage you there and let you know that no matter what you're going through, and no matter how bad it looks on this terra firma, even in the United States and abroad, all over the world, wherever you may be watching me at, put your hope and your confidence in the Lord Jesus, because he'll give you a peace that surpasses all understanding, and know that his mercies are new every morning. God bless you guys. Thank you for joining us in this segment of A Moment in the Word. Thank you guys for watching once again the Apostolic Conservative Show. I'd like to ask you to keep Crystal and I in your prayers as we strive to do the will of God for our lives, knowing that no matter what happens, we're all in this together, and where we go one, we go all. And you can always find the original plan of salvation in your Bibles in the book of Acts, the 2nd chapter and the 38th verse. We love you so much. We thank you. Lord, we give you glory for all that you have done and all that you're doing in our lives. We ask you to continue to move as only you can do, strengthen and establish all of us as we wake up every day, as we strive to be representatives of you. Lord God, I pray that you will watch over those that are fighting on behalf of our constitutional rights. Lord God, protect those that were in the cabinet of President Trump, Lord God, as they continue to fight on the behalf of we the people. Lord God, I pray that you would lead and guide our government in the right way that will bring glory and honor to your name. In the name of Jesus, we thank you. We give you glory. Lord God, I also ask that you watch over the influencers, the social media influencers like myself and others that are out there bringing truth where mainstream media don't want to bring it. Lord God, strengthen them, watch over them, meet their needs. In Jesus' name.
Our movement is about replacing a failed and corrupt political establishment with a new government controlled by you, the American people. The Washington establishment and the financial and media corporations that fund it exist for only one reason: to protect and enrich itself. The establishment has trillions of dollars at stake in this election. For those who control the levers of power in Washington and for the global special interest, they partner with these people that don't have your good in mind. Our campaign represents a true existential threat like they haven't seen before. This is not simply another 4-year election. This is a crossroads in the history of our civilization that will determine whether or not we, the people, reclaim control over our government. The political establishment that is trying to stop us is the same group responsible for our disastrous trade deals, massive illegal immigration, and economic and foreign policies that have bled our country dry. The political establishment has brought about the destruction of our factories and our jobs as they flee to Mexico, China, and other countries all around the world. It's a global power structure that is responsible for the economic decisions that have robbed our working class, stripped our country of its wealth, and put that money into the pockets of a handful of large corporations and political entities. This is a struggle for the survival of our nation, and this will be our last chance to save it. This election will determine whether we're a free nation or whether we have only the illusion of democracy, but are in fact controlled by a small handful of global special interests rigging the system, and our system is rigged. This is reality. You know it, they know it, I know it, and pretty much the whole world knows it. The Clinton machine is at the center of this power structure. We've seen this firsthand in the WikiLeaks documents, in which Hillary Clinton meets in secret with international banks to plot the destruction of U.S. sovereignty in order to enrich these global financial powers, her special interest friends, and her donors. Honestly, she should be locked up. The most powerful weapon deployed by the Clintons is the corporate media, the press. Let's be clear on one thing. The corporate media in our country is no longer involved in journalism. They're a political special interest, no different than any lobbyist or other financial entity with a total political agenda, and the agenda is not for you, it's for themselves. Anyone who challenges their control is deemed a sexist, a racist, a xenophobe. They will lie, and then again, they will do worse than that. They will do whatever is necessary. The Clintons are criminals, remember that. This is well documented, and the establishment that protects them has engaged in a massive cover-up of widespread criminal activity at the State Department and the Clinton Foundation in order to keep the Clintons in power. They knew they would throw every lie they could at me and my family and my loved ones. They knew they would stop at nothing to try to stop me. Nevertheless, I take all of these slings and arrows gladly for you. I take them for our movement so that we can have our country back. I knew this day would arrive. It's only a question of when. And I knew the American people would rise above it and vote for the future they deserve. The only thing that can stop this corrupt machine is you. The only force strong enough to save our country is us. The only people brave enough to vote out this corrupt establishment is you, the American people. Our great civilization has come upon a moment of reckoning. I didn't need to do this, folks, believe me. I built a great company, and I had a wonderful life. I could have enjoyed the fruits and benefit of years of successful business deals and businesses for myself and my family, instead of going through this absolute horror show of lies, deceptions, malicious attacks. Who would have thought? I'm doing it because this country has given me so much, and I feel so strongly that it's my turn to give back to the country that I love. I'm doing this for the people and for the movement, and we will take back this country for you, and we will make America great again.
The covenant with Jesus keeps on getting even sweeter. I love to pledge allegiance to the one that gave us freedom. He did it by his blood, he shed for you and me, and he hung on that rugged cross for us all. Let his will just be done. His fingerprints, they be stitched in our fabric. No escaping this. If you want it, you can have it. The wages of sin is death when you cash in. Turn away and repent. The next, it is baptism. In the name of Jesus to X out your past sins. What's the